My bones have names now. Human medics gave them nicknames as they stitched me back together. Krexair shifted in the medical bed, every movement a symphony of pain despite the advanced healing nanites. The small one in my third arm? They call it lucky. Because I'm lucky it didn't pierce an artery. He attempted what humans called a laugh, but it came out as a wheeze. I challenged a human. I thought it'd be glorious combat. Turns out, I'm lucky to still have lungs. The Warriors' Pride Arena on Station Gamma 7 had seen countless battles. Species from across the galaxy came to test their mettle, to prove their superiority, to earn glory for their homeworlds. Krexair had been champion for 3 cycles. His 4 arms, natural armor plating, and redundant organs made him nearly unbeatable. Nearly. She was small, Krexair told the recording device, his voice still carrying disbelief. Even by human standards. Sarachan, engineering cadet, barely came up to my second shoulder. When she accepted my challenge, the crowd laughed. He'd laughed too. Humans were new to the galactic scene, known more for their stubbornness than their combat prowess. They had no natural weapons, no armor, no redundant organs. Just soft skin and breakable bones. When the tiny human female had stepped into the ring wearing nothing but fabric wrappings on her hands and feet, Krexair had actually felt bad. I offered to let her withdraw, he continued, wincing at the memory. She smiled. That should have been my first warning. The rules were simple: no weapons, no killing, fight until submission or unconsciousness. Standard honor combat practiced by civilized species for millennia. Krexair had taken his stance, all 4 arms raised, natural armor plates shifted to optimal defense, weight distributed across his powerful legs. Chin had bounced on her toes and asked, "You sure about this?" I challenged a human. I woke up in traction, Krexair muttered. The first 30 seconds had gone as expected. Krexair threw measured strikes, testing the human's defenses. She dodged, quick for her species, but nothing compared to a Vexian or a Threll. He could have ended it quickly, but wanted to give her an honorable showing. Then she stopped dodging, Krexair said. She took my punch, a quarter-strength jab, right to her ribs. I heard something crack. The crowd gasped. I hesitated. She smiled again, with blood on her teeth. That's when I learned the first lesson: humans don't stop when they're hurt. They get angry. What followed was 47 seconds of education that Krexair would never forget. Chin hadn't just studied combat, she'd studied Mortiki anatomy. Every strike targeted nerve clusters he didn't know he had. Every movement flowed into the next like water finding cracks in stone. You fight to win. We fight because we have to, she'd said, driving an elbow into his secondary breathing valve. She knew exactly where to hit me, Krexair explained to the recorder. Not the armored parts, the joints, the soft spots, the places where nerves bundle. It was like she had my anatomy chart memorized. Humans are persistence hunters, the doctor had explained later. They evolved to outlast their prey, to endure beyond reason. Their combat sports reflect this. They train to fight while exhausted, injured, in pain. She wasn't fighting me. She was holding back from killing me, Krexair admitted. The moment he'd realized his mistake came when Chan had wrapped herself around his primary arm. Her legs locked around his throat in something she called a triangle choke. His other 3 arms couldn't reach her properly, and his armor plates meant nothing when she was cutting off blood flow to his brain. I could have crushed her, he said. My strength is 4 times hers. But every time I tried, she'd shift and suddenly I'd be the one screaming. Joint locks, the human medic had explained cheerfully while setting Krexair's dislocated shoulders, all 4 of them. Your girl Chen's from Australia. They start teaching submission grappling in kindergarten there. Kindergarten, Krexair repeated for the recorder. Their children learn this. The fight had ended when Chin had somehow, he still wasn't sure how, used his own momentum to flip him. 200 kilograms of Mortiki warrior slammed into the mat by 50 kilograms of human. His impact had cracked the arena floor. She could have driven my head into the ground, Krexair said quietly. Broken my primary spine. Instead, she controlled the fall, kept me safe. Next time you see a human warming up, run, he added with painful certainty. The aftermath had been humiliating. Chin had helped carry him to medical, apologizing the entire way. Sorry, didn't mean to go so hard. You just reminded me of my brother, and muscle memory kicked in. Her brother, Krexair emphasized. She learned to fight like that from playing with her sibling. They move like they've already seen the worst day of their lives and trained to never let it happen again, he reflected. The human medic treating him had been insufferably cheerful. Oh, you fought Chin? Lucky you. She's one of the nice ones. You should see what the Marines can do. Marines? Krexar had asked weakly. Military specialists. Chen's just an engineer who does mixed martial arts for fun. For fun. / they do this for entertainment. That's when Krexar had started reassessing humanity's place in the galaxy. They weren't weak. They were terrifyingly controlled. Every human walking around was potentially capable of violence that would make a Mortiki warrior weep, but they kept it leashed, hidden behind smiles and politeness. I asked her why, Krexar said. Why train so hard when you're not a warrior? Everyone's a warrior where we come from, Chun had replied. Earth didn't let us be anything else. Your planet made you this way? / no. We made ourselves this way to survive it. The recording would go viral across the galaxy. Not because Krexar lost, upsets happened, but because of what it revealed. Humans weren't peaceful because they were weak. They were peaceful because they knew exactly how dangerous they were. Final medical report, Krexar concluded. 3 broken ribs, 4 dislocated joints, 17 major contusions, 1 cracked head plate, and a completely shattered worldview. Would I fight another human? He paused, considering. Only if I was suicidal. Or very, very stupid. The scariest part? He added after a moment. When she visits, and she visits daily, bringing something called Tim Tams. She keeps apologizing. She thinks she went too easy on me, and that's why I got hurt. Too easy, / I'm breathing through a tube and she thinks she was too gentle. From his hospital bed, Krexar could see the arena through his window. Already 3 more aliens had challenged humans to combat. He wanted to warn them but knew they wouldn't listen. They'd learn, just as he had, that humans didn't fight like predators or prey. They fought like survivors. And survivors don't fight fair, they fight to go home. Dear Diary, challenged a human to combat. Currently learning to walk again. Food's not bad though. Would not recommend the experience. 2 out of 10 stars. Tim Tams are excellent.